Managing the fire is one of the most important aspects to a successful cook. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to control the heat on your Santa Maria grill, and I'll be demonstrating on a tri-tip. But first, let's light up our grill and get this grill started. I like to drop in a chimney full of lump charcoal. Regular briquettes also work, but I had some leftover Fogo lump, so I figured I'd use the rest of the bag. Now once lit, you'll want to dump it on the charcoal grate. One thing worth mentioning is I like to double down on the charcoal grates and create a grid-like grate. This way your charcoal bed is maintained and your embers don't fall through as easily. At this point, you'll want to add in 3 small splits of wood. I'm doing 2 here because that second split is pretty large. Once that fire catches, let's place in our Santa Maria grill. Specifically, I'm going to be using the Gabby's grill attachment for this demonstration. A link down in the description. Now to keep this fire going throughout the cook, I like to drop in some additional briquettes. It's not much, they're just to extend the duration and keep things hot. Now when do you add another split of wood? Drop in a small split about every 30 to 40 minutes. This will keep the fire going. You can also substitute the wood split with additional charcoal. The important thing is keeping that fire hot. You're running an open pit here, so it'll go through more fuel than you're probably used to. So keep feeding that fire. You'll want to manipulate your splits as they cook down. So move these wood pieces around, flip them over about every 20 minutes or so. Remember, anytime you stoke or you manipulate the fire by poking it or stirring it or adding a new piece of wood, it'll momentarily spike up your temperatures. So make sure to make these minor height adjustments. Now, how do you adjust the height? To raise or lower the grate, you want to unlatch it, which will allow you to turn the handle and in turn raise or lower the grate. The key to control the temperature on your Santa Maria grill is to raise and lower the grate. Want it to get hot? Lower it down so it's closer to the fire. Want it to cool it down? Get it away from the fire. Raise it up. And that's it. Master when to raise and lower your grate to control your temperatures. And you can successfully cook anything. Now, how hot is too hot? I like to use a hand test. I simply raise or lower the grate to my desired height and place my hand right above the grate. If I can hold it there comfortably for 3 seconds, it's at the right height. At this height, it's approximately running about 350 degrees. Now, if I can hold my hand there longer, it's not hot enough. So raise it down or lower it down. Now, this 3-second hand rule has its faults because as you can guess, we all have different sensitivities to heat. Now, if you're very sensitive to heat, you might want to decrease it to 2 seconds. In contrast, if the heat don't bother you, you might want to increase that time you hold your hand out there for maybe 4 to 5 seconds. Now, I can't just fire up that Santa Maria grill and not cook anything, right? So let me demonstrate some fire management on a tri-tip. Let's first prep it up. Let's season it up. I'm dropping a very light dusting of seasoned salt. And then adding some baka rub, which is fantastic on beef. Now, if you want to try out this rub, be sure to check out Al Lunacy over at his channel. Highly recommend that rub. Now let's place in our tri-tip. At this height, it should sear it nicely. But about 10 minutes, we'll want to flip it if the sear is looking good. In this style of cooking, you'll definitely want to hang around the grill so you can rotate and flip it every few minutes or so. Now, running an open fire pit like this can result in extremely high temperatures, so you could easily burn your food if you aren't looking. You should maintain your fire and adjust your grill grate as necessary. Now the logs are burning down beautifully, so I'll poke and break up the logs a bit. Remember, every time you start poking at the logs, it'll increase the temperatures, so raise the grate a bit if necessary. Now for those that are curious, the wood I'm using today is mesquite. Now this mixture of lump and wood is producing some amazing flavor. At about the 20-minute mark, I'll drop in some additional wood. I'll put it off to the side in preparation of when I might need it. For reference, at the 20-minute mark, this tri-tip was temping at about 109 degrees. We're about halfway there. This was a smaller tri-tip, so it's cooking a lot faster than most. But at this point, I'll drop in some vegetables. I'll be placing in some onions and some zucchinis. The zucchinis won't take very long. At this height, it'll take about 15 to 20 minutes. About 15 minutes later, let's temp our tri-tip. It's already at 125 and I'm gonna go ahead and remove. With the carryover heat, it should land me about 130 degrees, which is my preferred temperature for steak. be sure to wrap it nicely and let it rest while we finish cooking our vegetables. The onions, I did end up wrapping with a little bit of foil to get them done quicker. For serving these onions, I like to squirt a little lime and a little salt to enjoy them that way. The sweetness of the onion followed by the little bit of lime and the salt is perfect. Once a tri-tip is rested, let's give it a slice. Remember to cut against the grain. There's nothing better than that perfect slice of tri-tip. Let's quickly heat up some tortillas for a taco. This is going to be a very easy build. Drop in the meat, a little cilantro, a little green salsa, and bam! The perfect tri-tip taco. Now this Santa Maria grill attachment cooks some outstanding food. And although it could look a little intimidating for the beginner to run a cooker like this, trust me, knowing when and how often to lower or raise your grate will come with experience. And honestly, remembering to keep heating that fire is probably the most difficult things to learn on how to cook on this type of cooker. So what are your thoughts? Do you like this style of cooking? Maybe you have tips or tricks you'd like to share with the community. Feel free to drop them down in the comments. And if you'd like more cooks done on the Santa Maria grill, be sure to check out the following playlist. I'll see you on the next one.